Hi everyone, this is week 20 of my social isolation get ready with me's, and this week I did not ask anybody what palette they wanted me to use because I bought one recently and I want to use this one. So this is the Glamlite Cake palette, and I thought for a long while before I finally purchased it, and then it just wouldn't leave my brain really. So after 4 months of like kind of wanting it, I finally pulled the trigger. So the cake palette, I mean, everybody points out this packaging, but it's kind of freaking adorable. You open the oven and then you've got your cake on the inside, and it's a massive, massive palette, and it's funny because it opens sideways. But look at the colors in there. Like, obviously I'm a sucker for that. So I want to play with this palette today, and I'm kind of inspired by the shirt that I'm wearing here that has Deadpool with rainbows and cats and unicorns on it. So we're gonna kind of go off of this rainbow-esque theme with the cake palette. So I was kind of debating what to do with this palette because I really like reviewing palettes and creating different eye looks with it. But because I'm only wearing makeup for these videos, I don't know how I'm going to do a straight review on it. Maybe a try-on is just going to have to be good enough for this one. I thought I could get away with my hair being like braided on one side, but this side's driving me nuts, so I'm going to have to put a headband on anyway. Okay, so where are we going to start with this thing? My shirt is very blue, so I want to be wearing a lot of blue fundamentally on my lid, but we're going to start with the crease area, and I think I'm going to start with Dulce de Leche there. Dulce? Did I just say Dulce? Dulce? Dulce. So take that on a fairly thick brush. Just going to put that through my crease. Oh, that is pigmented. Okay. I want to do an orange crease into like a red out here and then a blue on the lid. Not something I normally do, but I want to give it a shot. Tell you what, this palette is beautiful, but when I opened it just now, I was like, dang, I wish you smelled like cake or something. So spoiled by scented palettes now. I just want all my eyeshadows to smell like, I guess it's mostly Too Faced that does it. Oh, and Tarte. Tarte has really good smelling eyeshadows now. They didn't used to smell very good. I gotta say, back in the day, they smelled rather rank. If not, like, if you opened the palette, it didn't stink, but if you stuck your nose straight in the shadows, like, ugh. But now they've got kind of like a vanilla scent to them. I thought this color was gonna come across a little bit more as a brown, but it's definitely more carrot in tone. Okay, next I'm gonna take Peach up here. And I'm going to put that through the crease as well, but just below where that current crease color is. So just right here. Okay, this is the part I'm not really sure about because I don't usually put blue on the lid with orange out there. I'm going to start with Icy Mint here on a flat shader brush, and I'm going to put that on the inner third. These are really nicely pigmented. And then I'm going to take Birthday Cake on the other side of that brush and put that on the middle of the lid. This is the part where I'm looking at myself wondering what I've done. Pretty sure it's going to turn out, but oh, it's looking rough right now. Okay, with that in place, what I'm going to do next actually is take Purple Frost, and that's going to be my outer corner color right here. I will say there's a lot of kick up in this palette, particularly Purple Frost. There's a lot of just dusted shadow around, so definitely do your eyeshadow first, because as you can see I'm getting a lot of fallout right here. Before you do your face makeup, that is. This palette has no matte brow bone shade, so I'm just going in with my Brûlée by Wet n Wild. And this look definitely needs a wing, so I'm using my tried and true Physicians Formula Eye Booster. Okay, we'll come back to the eyes in a little bit, but let's do the face. I'm going to be using my Revlon Full Cover Foundation. This is in the shade 200 Nude. This is starting to feel pretty empty, so I think I might be finishing it up soon. Of course, every time I say that, it turns out that like there's months and months of product left. So in the last week, I started and finished the Netflix series, The Babysitter's Club. Well, I mean, it's based on the book series from my childhood. And let me tell you, that was another great series to watch. I loved those books when I was younger. And I even read, like, what was it, the Little Sister ones? Based around Karen. But man, I love that whole series. And I was a little bit skeptical about watching the Babysitters Club set in today's era, because I was like, well, how does this work with like cell phones and stuff? But honestly, they did a really freaking good job of it. And they somehow made it a little bit old school, but also modern enough that it made sense and didn't seem weird. It was a really good show. And the girls look like such young teenagers. I mean, are they even teenagers? Maybe they are. But they're like in middle school and they look the right age, which was a little bit bracing because when I read this series, I was always like looking up to them because they were older girls, right? But to me now as a 37-year-old woman, I'm like, oh my God, they were so freaking young. But the series was just so well written. They brought it up to date. They talked about current issues. They made joke references to pop culture that were so good. There was a few Game of Thrones ones. There was, I wrote it down, what was it? There were some Hunger Games ones too. Like, it was just really well done. So all my reservations about watching that series have definitely gone away now that I've watched the whole thing. And I'm really hopeful that they do a season 2. But I don't know how popular that kind of series is going to be for people. Because I think the only people who'd be watching the Babysitters Club now are like in my age range. It's not really going to appeal to a younger demographic just because they didn't grow up with the books, you know? They also dealt with a lot of like issues too really well. And that it just made me so happy. Like one of the girls gets her period. She's 12 or 13 and the girls are supportive and stuff like that. But they're all like making jokes and being like, yeah, this is a fact of life. It's not that big of a deal when you first get it. Like, I feel like most shows make it such a dramatic thing when a girl gets her first period. But this one was like, yeah, it happened. And I was like, yes, that's what I want to see more of. And then there was, like, not everybody was just straight and white. There was a huge diversity in the cast, which actually kind of threw me a little bit at first because, for example, one of the characters, Dawn Schaefer, is a super blonde white girl from California in the books. Like, they talk about her like, I think it's almost like white blonde hair a lot. So when they threw, I don't know what the actor's actual background is, but she's got like darker hair and she's clearly not white and she's not a blonde. I was kind of like, why did they make Dawn like that? But honestly, it just really worked out. The actress who played Dawn was phenomenal. They were all good, and I don't tend to love really young actors, more specifically in like the kid range, because I feel like they just don't know how to act. But all of these girls were super good. I love the diversity in the cast, even though it threw me at first. And even like not everybody was just straight and white too. Like they had some gay characters too, and it was just like, it was a non-issue. No one talked about it. It was just like, yeah, they're gay. And versus most shows, like, oh my God, it's like everything is like a coming out story or a big deal. And I'm not trying to invalidate those storylines, but like, you don't have to introduce every single gay character as like, here they are coming out of the closet for the first time. Some people are just out there living their lives regardless. Anyway, this has gone off on a tangent. My point is to say that I really enjoyed this series and I hope it comes back for a season 2. And if you're somebody who read the books, I think you'd really enjoy it. Okay, for bronzer, I'm going to be using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I'm gonna go back in with a big brush again just to see how much I like it. Okay, changing topics. Toronto has moved into phase 3 of, what even is it? We just call it phase 3 of social isolation, quarantine, whatever. Which honestly kind of shocked me. I think it's too soon. I'm so surprised that they announced that kids are going back to school in September. If you're a teacher right now, I am so sorry. I don't know how to deal or handle or process that for you. Like, I'm just kind of like, teachers are scared, and rightfully so. It feels like it's way too soon to be moving into phase 3 and opening schools back up. I think I was reading yesterday that a school in the US opened up already. It's weird to me that schools in the US open up in August. Like in Canada, that doesn't happen. It's not until September. So the fact that any kid is back at school right now is bizarre to me. But I think they were saying that they opened a school back up in the US, and within one day they already had to put it in lockdown again. I'm like, oh geez, is that gonna be like every school here? So phase 3 here means that indoor dining is now possible, except I'm not going anywhere near that. Heck no. They've made indoor dining possible, but they're like spreading it out, so I guess you just can't have that many people inside. Gyms are back open again. That's another thing I'm not going to. I put my membership on hold for an additional like 4 to 6 months because I don't think it's safe. I don't care how many precautions they're taking in a gym environment. Like, that's just, you're exhaling everywhere constantly. You're sweating. Like, I don't feel like that's safe. And even though I am desperate to go back to my gym, like I really want to get back to lifting heavy weights again, I don't feel like it's okay to go back yet, so I'm just not gonna. I have been lifting some weights at the really weenie gym here in my condo, and I'm so weak that honestly going back to the regular gym and lifting those big weights again would be honestly laughable. So maybe it's a good thing that I'm getting back my strength while in the condo gym, which is safer because like at max I might see one other person in there, and usually I'm just completely by myself, which is great. Okay, for blush, I'm going to be taking this old Hourglass blush palette, and what's the shade name on this? So I'm going to be using the middle one here, which is called Incandescent Electra. And oh shoot, I forgot to do this at the same time. I was going to pop on some inner corner highlight and then use the same color as a highlighter. But now I'm starting to rethink that because I don't think those colors are going to match. But what I'm going to do is take this Naked Cosmetic stack. Does anybody remember these? They were huge back in the first few days of like eye mats when beauty gurus started discovering it, but no one talks about them anymore. What's nice about this is that they're just like kind of translucent with a slight flash of color for my cheeks. So I think I'm going to take the more orangey one. And these are loose pigments, so they're kind of a pain in the butt to use, but yeah, how am I supposed to do this? I'm gonna dip in here lightly and try to tap it off into the container. This is ridiculous. Why am I doing this? And then, oh, that's more of a pinky tone one. Oh, really? That was more orange. Oh well. Okay, let's zoom you back in and we'll finish up the eyes. Really debating what to do with my lower lash line. I kind of want to keep going with the purple. Okay, let's give it a shot with the purple. I'm going to take Ube, which I have no idea what that is. If you do know what the Ube is, please educate me. And I'm going to put that on the inner half of my lower lash line. Sudden regret. Let's see how this turns out. And then I'm going to go back in with Purple Frost, which was my outer corner color, and just put that on the outer half. Ooh, that's, whoa, okay. Oh, that looks like a hot mess. Okay. Sometimes you make a choice and it's not the right one. Okay, I'm gonna try taking the peach shade to blend it out a little bit. I'm gonna do it on the same brush that I've just been using because it's got some of the purple on it still. Let's see. Just at the edge and try to connect it up here. Okay, you know what? I really don't like that. Okay, no, I don't like that at all. I'm gonna take it off. Woof. Yikes, I almost never have to do that. Oh. Okay, just bringing it in a bit tighter made it look better. Maybe I can work with that. Okay, that's messy, but looking a bit better. So let me make sure my face is dry and then try again from there. Okay, let me try that again. I'm gonna try using the same colors, but maybe I'm gonna take a smaller brush. Okay, that's better. Funnily enough, I just didn't like it with too much of a blown out edge, which is not something that I ever complain about, but for whatever reason with these colors, that was not working. And I'm just going back with Purple Frost and putting that along here. but keeping it that tight. I'm not gonna bring it down any further. Okay, that's better. That look got saved for sure. That was looking real rough for a while. For the inner corner, I'm gonna go back in with my Naked Ivory stack, and I think, between those two colors, I think I'm gonna choose the more purple tinted one. Okay, so I just popped on some mascara. I used the Hourglass Caution Mascara, and then I put on some more Lithe lashes. I tried out the style, I think it was 01 last week. And these ones are 03. They're a little larger, but you can't see them that much because the eyeshadow is overtaking everything. Anyway, they're really nice. Again, cotton band, love it. For the lower waterline, I'm gonna be using this Makeup Forever Aqua XL pencil. This is in the shade M92. Okay, I whacked my eyebrows on. I'm just gonna finish up with the lips, and I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. I'm just gonna use a sparkly lip gloss. This is pretty old. It was part of Sephora Collection's holiday collection, probably from 3 years ago. I don't even know that, oh, there it is, Queen Bee. I was gonna say, I thought the thing was rubbed off on the bottom, but it's still there. And it's just got a little bit of a purple tinge to it, which I like, and I think goes, ooh, goes with the whole look. Okay, so that is it. That's the finished look. Get this out of my hair. It's sorta a little bit works with the shirt, kind of. I'm lacking a lot of like the yellow and green really, but still a fun look, I think. And I'm glad it came together in the end too, because it was looking really bad for a little bit when the purple was just too low, and then trying to blend it out with the orange. Ooh, that was a no-go. But overall, I have to say so far, really liking this palette. I can't believe how pigmented some of these shades are. I only stuck with the mattes today, so that's really only what I can speak on. But they're pretty dusty when you put your brush in there. Like, they will kick up a lot of powder, so I had quite a bit of fallout when I was doing my eyes. But fallout doesn't necessarily bother me. I know it bothers some people, but for me, it's fine because I just clean it up, and I always do my eye makeup first. I would say that I struggled a little bit with the purple blending through here, but I think it's kind of to do with my color choice because orange and purple don't necessarily always blend that well together. But still, overall, I do like how this look came out, so I'm pretty pleased with it. I'm pretty happy that I picked this thing up. It took me a while to finally, like, you know, pull the trigger on it, but it's a really fun palette, and I mean, I love me a good rainbow palette, right? So that's gonna be it for week 20. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.